This is going to be a very short video because it's a very short clip that I'm working off. And if you notice, for the first time, Simon Harris and I are side by side. Look at that. I think not. So he's talking here. He has himself a TikTok account that he posts onto, and this is the sort of stuff that he doesn't put onto his main social media page, his Taoiseach page on Twitter, for example, or X. It's not on the Fine Gael or Fine Gael pages. This is more chilled out. And he's starting off with a hi there, and he's going to be talking about housing. And literally, in 20 seconds, he's going to summarise what he's going to do to sort out the housing crisis in Ireland. And he makes it sound oh so very simple. And one of the things he wants you to do, possibly, is move into your back garden and give your house to your kids if you're older, or if you're younger and you're in the house with mum and dad still. He wants you to move out there into the garden and be independent. So we're going to have a quick blast of this video. I'll run it through, and then we'll break it down piece by piece.
What are going to do over the next few weeks to help with the housing situation. We've got to build more houses. First thing we're going to do is we're going to regulate Airbnb, making sure there are more properties available to rent in this country. Secondly, we're going to give more money to Uisce Éireann, but only in return for making sure that Irish Water ensure there's more land ready to deliver houses. And thirdly, we're going to change the rules to make it easier to build in your back garden, because we've got to get planning and bureaucracy out of the way.
Okay, I thought initially this was an April Fool upload. April Fools, we're going to use Airbnb more. We want you into the back garden. We want you to get into the back garden. We're going to build a lot more houses. But he's being serious. So let's just really briefly break this down piece by piece.
Hi, there are three things Fine Gael are going to do over the next...
There are three things Fine Gael is going to do. I mean, the guy has no on-screen personality, no charisma. I mean, he makes me look good. That's how bad he is. He makes me look good, and I look pretty bad anyway. So here he is over the next few weeks.
To help with the housing situation. We've got to build more houses. First thing we're going to do...
We've got to build more houses. So the question should be asked by anyone that voted for this show, or anybody at all. How many houses have you built since you were elected? How many houses have you built since the formation of the new government? Because we're into April now. So that's a full quarter, January to February to March. Well, 2.5 months, we'll call it. How many houses have been built, given that they lied about the house building targets for last year, that they were on track and they fell woefully short? And independent evaluators that have came in and assessed Ireland's housing situation have said they're never going to come close at this rate to building what they need. In fact, they're going to fall further behind as time goes on. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to build more houses. Makes sense, doesn't it? Housing crisis, we need more houses. Let's build more houses.
We're going to regulate Airbnb, making sure there are more properties available to rent.
Regulate Airbnb to make sure there's more properties available to rent. Again, I can see this stinking to high heavens, because Airbnbs will become the equivalent of iPass centres for ruthless landlords. Government will come in, flash the cash, and give them maybe uplifted rates just to free up their properties to take in tenants. And of course, the tenants won't be able to afford the rent, possibly, or maybe they will and they'll be getting subsidies. But somewhere along the line, someone's going to be making a buck out of this. So Airbnb, we're going to build more houses, and we're going to free up Airbnb properties
in this country. Secondly, we're going to give more money to Uisce Éireann, but only in return for making sure that Irish Water ensure there's more land ready to deliver houses.
Irish Water, more land to deliver houses. That's it. Bish, bash, bosh.
And thirdly, we're going to change the rules to make it easier to build in your back garden, because...
Make it easier to build in your back garden. And look at the face. He's serious. He wants people, a generation of Irish people living in their back garden. And remember, Ireland's supposed to be prospering mightily at the moment. Mightily prospering, at least until we find out what the Trump tariffs are going to mean at the end of today, possibly into tomorrow. He's told us that they've got lots of money set aside for a rainy day, and that things have never been better. Employment's that we're doing great for employment. We're doing great for cash deposits. We're doing great. But he wants people to go and live in their gardens. Tell me this. Is this something that you ever envisioned happening in Ireland? To be told that you want to move, you be encouraged to move into your back garden, and planning permission would be rushed through and waived just to get you out into the garden.
Got to get planning and bureaucracy out of the way.
Got to get planning and bureaucracy out of the way. Let me say this. Maybe we need to get him out of the way along with the other gangsters that are there in Leinster House. I mean, the amount of money some of those TDs are making as landlords, as IPAS or emergency accommodation providers, running into the millions. It's a racket on top of what they're already getting in terms of their wages and their expenses. Can you just imagine if that's now thrown open to the Airbnb industry? And I'm sure many of them, I don't know, but I'm sure many of them have their own private properties that haven't been let out for refugees or asylum seekers, and they're just salivating at the thought of getting all that tasty Airbnb cash. So what do you make of Simon? Do you think he needs to work on some of his presenting skills? Do you think he needs to stay off of TikTok and get serious? Leave me your thoughts, comments and opinions below. I'm Rick Bunn, No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.